Working with live objects and views in Digifoot is very, very straightforward and yet very powerful. First, you select the layout. This layout can be customized as well, and I'll show you how it's done. So we create a new one, and you can customize the layout whichever shape or size you want. With the right mouse button, you can up an area, create more boxes, or you can make it into a bigger screen. But obviously you cannot mix and create a regular shape, or obviously you cannot create that. Once you save it, that layout is already available in the surveillance client, as you can see here. And everything in surveillance client works around dragging and drop and right mouse click. So you can have all the options available visible just by doing right mouse click. So now I'm just gonna drag and drop all the cameras, or double click on the cameras, and then it will populate the screen. You can also drag a whole bunch of cameras or group of cameras. So I'm gonna drag the group into the screen. And if you notice, only these group of cameras was added, right? But if I hold Shift and drag, and now the whole cameras in the sub directory groups are also added as well. Also, when dragging and dropping groups, it will always add rather than replace. So for example, I have these cameras on screen, but when I added another group, it just added further, but it didn't replace any existing cameras. Also, when you change the layout, it will always keep the cameras that you have, but obviously you will have different screen styles. You can also search for cameras using keywords or description or the camera number. So if I type in camera number 5, which only have number 1, but if I say search for ground, then I have all the ground floor groups coming up automatically, and everything else within that group, it will also be displayed as well. So it's a very powerful tool when you have large number of cameras and you wanted to quickly search a certain cameras. You can also drag and drop layouts. So here I drag and then it changes. You can also just double click on the layout as well, and it will change to that layout. We have the option of only showing the layouts associated with that view. So here, if I select this option here, you'll see that all the views have disappeared. And it's only going to show the views that I created associated with that screen style. Okay. Yeah. We don't have, it's only one of that screen style that I have saved. But if I untick it, then now you'll see all the views, regardless what screen style you're in. To create a view is very, very straightforward. You click on the cameras that you want to be part of the view, and then you click on save, and you create a description, give it a name for it. So I'm going to call it my cameras. We have a few options when we are saving. Along with the view, you can select the media profile. What is that? So by default in Digifoot, we give you a profile, which is a low resolution. But you want that view to load always with a high resolution. So I selected the high resolution, right? Then I click on save again. Then I tick this box, selected the media profile. So next time I load my view, instead of loading with a default profile, it's going to load with the save profile, which is a high resolution. Likewise, with all the other options here, You can say configuration of motion detection. You can also save your digital zoom position, or even the position of the fisheye cameras as well. And here you have the option of making it public view or private. By default, when you save a view, that view is always private, so it's only for your viewing. Okay, so you'll have a key next to it. These are private views, so only you can view those views. But if you choose to be a public, then it'll be visible by every users. Okay, and it will not have a key. So everybody in the system using the system can view that view as well. And also please note that you can only save as a public view only when you have rights to. Okay. In this demo, I'm going to show you one of my favorite very cool feature called the web browser function. Digifoot has a embedded web browser function based on Chromium projects, which basically allows you to bring in any kind of external systems into Digifoot Surveillance Client, as well as simple websites. But here is an example of a dashboard of a Safer, which is our facial recognition engine platform. And we also have BriefCam, the video synopsis. So we can control everything from us. We also have a simple web pages as well. So you can navigate to any websites. Here on the object list, we have all the registered web pages that you have access to. So you can basically create whatever or new objects. It's pretty straightforward. You name, description, and the URL. And then you will configure which users or user groups have access to use that object. This obviously user has all the access to all the web pages here. And here's a little trick. If the URL is empty, that will give you the ability to navigate to any URL that they want to navigate to. By default, we don't give that kind of freedom. It is fixed in the administration client. So as you can see here, it's all fixed. So you cannot change or navigate to different URL or to other apps websites. So this is a quick integration into other systems to bring everything onto our own dashboard. So basically we can go into a full screen mode, or we can actually then project all these web pages or information or dashboard onto a video wall. So basically it allows us to integrate into any web-based third-party systems, so that you can have a full single command control within one platform. In this demo, I'm going to show you some of the tricks of digital zoom as well as optical zoom. So we can control the fixed camera using digital zoom or PTZ with optical zoom. So with a digital zoom, you can just do right mouse click and then select the areas, and then it will automatically create a picture-in-picture on the bottom right hand side. So you can just drag the red bar to the areas you want, or you can create another zoom area within the picture-in-picture as well, and will automatically zoom into that area or zoom out as well. You can also use a PTZ control to do the pen and tilt and digital zoom as well. If you have an external joystick, which is just a USB one, you can also control using that as well. If you double click on the picture-in-picture, it will just disappear, and it will remove the zoom that you've created. So now we're going to show you how we control the actual PTZ. So that is a selection for either you want to do digital zoom or optical zoom. So here we're just using the normal operation of a PTZ using only the optical zoom. Because it's optical zoom, the picture is still pretty good. But now if I select the digital zoom, now I can zoom in further using the digital zoom. Of course, we don't have a very high resolution on this PTZ, but if that PTZ was much higher resolution, even on a digital zoom, you will get to see more details. So you can now deselect the digital zoom. Now you're just back to the normal control, which is all sent to the PTZ, and just back to the normal operation. Object Link is a very powerful new tool that we have implemented in version 7.3. So it allows linking of any visual objects with inside any camera. So here is some examples how it is done. So you can just drag and drop any cameras that you have and choose an icon, and you select different types of icons that we have available for you. So we have tons of different icons, and here we've chosen a cogwheel, and you can place it anywhere you want. We can also create a link using a zone. You can create any shape or form and shake different colors. If you choose no colors, it'll be invisible. The only way that you know that zone is there, when you hover over the zone, you'll see your mouse icon will change to a hand, so then you know there is a link to that zone. Not only cameras, we can also link maps. So you can choose again any icon you want. So next time when you want to show a map, you click on this icon and it will automatically open up the Synoptic map. And Synoptic map can have links to alarms, images, all sorts of things on the map. But we'll cover that in a different session. You can also link to global events, which will trigger actions, as for example, opening a door or trigger an alarm, or anything that you have created in your global events. You can also link to analytics, OPR objects. You can also open a web page. You can also open an operational map as well. You can also link to public views that you have created and saved. So it will be linked to the cameras within that group. Once again, you select the icon. So when you click on the icon, it will actually change the whole layout to that saved, pre-saved views or layout. So it is a very, very flexible feature to allow powerful navigation through objects and actions within Digifort. In this demo, I'm going to demonstrate to you the object links. Object link is basically a feature that allows you to navigate between cameras using embedded links on the image. So as an example, if you want to follow a person within a certain premises, and there are a lot of different cameras in different areas, and you wanted to follow the person wherever he goes. So here's an example. There are two links here, and each link is linked to a different camera. And we click on this link, which will change to the camera inside the building. And we can keep following him between the cameras. These features will allow you to select cameras, not only by clicking, which obviously when you click, it'll change the camera, but you can also drag and drop into an empty screen, and it will open the camera of the next or the link camera in that empty space. As you can see, other than the icons, we have zones as well. we click on the zone, but this time what we do is we do shift click on the zone, then we'll open up automatically on an empty screen. But if we just click, it'll just replace the camera. But when we do Control Shift, it will then give you a floating or a pop-up screen, so you can have an independent view of that camera. Object links can also be used during playback. So here I have for you a Digifort playback screen. So now we're going to navigate through the cameras during the playback. So we're going to use the same footage as we did for the live view, but this is the recorded footage now. So you can see that we have the same links even on the playbacks, and we click on the link and it will change to the next camera. So now we can follow a subject in a playback mode. So no different to the other demo that I have done in the live view. So as you see, when I click, it replaces the image. But if I want to see the playback of all the cameras together, then I'll press the hold shift click, then it will open up another screen, which opens up with the link camera as well. So we can keep following the person during playback. Now he's going to go upstairs. So I click on the zone that's linked to the camera upstairs. And so I have the other camera popping up. And as he comes up, he's going to go into the room, and I want to follow him into the room as well. So I click. Now I can also do drag and drop as well. So I just drag and drop into the empty screen, and it'll show the playback of that camera in that spot as well. Okay, so it's really pretty much the same as live view, but you can do that in playback as well. The sequence exporting feature is a flow-on effect from object links, and object links are available in the playback. And from that, we've created a feature called the sequence export. And this demo will show you briefly about what sequence export is. So it allows you to export video using object links to follow up a subject as an example. So I'm going to export a footage here as an example of this person entering this person into the premises, because I want to forward this evidence to somebody or a police. So I click on the start and then I'll do the playback. So whatever I do or whatever camera I change to by clicking on the links, that will be saved on the export as well. So I'm going to do the normal procedure of following the suspect using the object links. And as you can see, and I told you, you can do shift click or drag and drop or icon or a zone. So you can follow the person within the playback. So later on, when he moves upstairs, I just drag and drop that zone into the empty spot here, so that we can follow that person. So I'm just jumping ahead here, but you know that he's going to walk up the stairs. This is really great when you have a lot of large cameras and you're not very familiar when it disappears out of the camera view which way he's gone. So if you've in the setup, if you cleverly connected all the cameras to the right cameras using the links, they don't need to think. They just click on the arrows, and then it will then show the cameras they will appear on. So I clicked on stop and select here. And you will see now on the bottom left hand side, the sequence is being exported. So as I mentioned, so when you are navigating during playback, not knowing which area that he will appear on, for example, you're looking at this screen, but the other camera he's going to appear on in another group of cameras, you don't know. So this will be quite ideal. So now I click on the player, I choose the sequence playback. So now you can see that playback will reproduce exactly the way I have done. I am not doing anything. I just sit back and watch the video playback, and it will just change automatically by itself. And then it'll populate with another screen on the screen as I exactly done. And then you'll also notice the we jumped ahead, and then we drag and drop the other camera into the other empty slot, and then that camera will appear on the other screen there as well. So exactly what we've done. Now I can drag and well, basically I can scroll through the timeline. I can advance forward or backwards, and even when I do that, it will follow the exact sequence that I have performed. So if you're a little bit impatient and you want to drag forward and backwards much quicker, you can just drag the timeline like I've done here. This feature also exports the whole footage so that you can also open the player in a normal mode. Okay, so it will then actually show all the cameras at the same time, which is a very normal way of export. Okay, so this is sequence export.